Bonjour tout le monde, comment allez-vous aujourd'hui? Today we're going to learn something exciting. Well, not so exciting, but one of the most important and the most confusing, controversial aspects of the French language. Even to the native speakers of French, this is an area where errors are made every single day. So you might as well want to pay a lot of attention. We are talking about the French articles, les articles français. It is such a very important topic. So I have a long one here for you today. Please pardon me. We're going to take it stage by stage and see how we are going to be able to walk through this tonight. So in French, there are three articles. All right. We have the definite articles. Obviously, also in English, we have definite articles as well. In English, you have the. So when you say the in English, that's a definite article. The car, there's just one car, that specific car. The man. So in French as well, we have definite article. In English, we have indefinite article, like what? A man, an umbrella. So a man could be any man. It's not the man. That's why it's indefinite. So it's not a defined man. It's not a defined umbrella. It could just be any umbrella. And then we have the partitive articles. We're going to get to that third one because it's a bit complicated. So let's talk about the first one. A definite article, there's an article definite, as the name suggests, all right, talks about a specific noun. These articles need to be in agreement with number and gender. In English, the only definite article that we have is the, but in French, there are four of them. In French, we have lo, la, l'apostrophe, and le. I wish it was just one as well in French, but it is four. All right, so let's explore the four. It's four ways of saying the in French. So, masculine singular, when you're referring to a male or an object that is male in French, that is masculine, I beg your pardon, in French, you say lo. For example, le livre, that's the book. Feminine singular, referring to a woman or an object that is feminine in French, you use la. For example, la table, which means the table. The table. Masculine plural, all right? In this case, you say le. For example, le stylo. Why? Because if it's the pen, it would have been lo stylo. Now that it is the pens, it's now what? Le stylo. Feminine plural, you use also le. For example, les chaises. Because if it's singular, it would have been la chaise. Feminine plural is now les chaises. Indefinite article, like I said, denote what you have in English as what? A and an. A boy, a girl, an umbrella, and all of that. And even to some extent, some. All right? French indefinite articles are used to talk about an unspecified person or thing. They are also used to talk about just one of something, right? For example, un livre, all right, which is a book. We're talking about indefinite articles. Un livre, a book. So we're talking about a and what? An in English. And we have une. For masculine singular, beg your pardon, we have un. All right. For example, un livre. For feminine singular, we have une. Repeat after me. Une. And then we had un. Depending on all the different accents, some would pronounce it as un. Some would call it un. For example, un livre. So different accents. Just make sure you listen well to know that that's what they are saying. All right. Un livre, un. Une. This one usually has just one pronunciation, irrespective of the accent. All right. So, for example, une chaise. All right. That's for feminine singular. We have masculine plural, which is what? Des. Des. For example, des stylo, pens. Des femmes, women, for example. Then you have feminine plural, which is also des. For example, des chaises. Let's run. Then we have partitive articles. In French, the French language uses partitive articles to refer to an unspecified quantity of something. These are used with both tangible items like bread or meat and intangible ideas such as patience or courage. And partitive articles in French includes du, la, de, and de l'apostrophe. They are equivalent to the English some or any. For example, in English, you don't just say um, I want time. You say I want some time, right? So some time. You don't just say I need patience. You say I need some patience. You understand? So this is what partitive. You don't just say I want bread. You say I want some bread in quotes in French. All right. Je veux du pain. Je veux du pain. You don't just say je veux pain, like we say in English. All right, and all of that. So that's partitive. A bit confusing to be honest, but you're gonna get it. So let's move on to the masculine singular. We have du. For example, du pain. Like I said, du pain, bread, du temps, time. Feminine singular, we have de la salade, de la patience, patience, de la salade. Je veux acheter de la salade. I want to buy salad. Je veux acheter, j'ai besoin de la patience. I need patience. All right. De la guitare, for example. Je joue de la guitare. I play the guitar. Are you seeing that now? Then for masculine plural, we have also de. For example, de legume. Feminine singular, we have feminine plural, I beg your pardon. We have so I had said for masculine plural we have de, for example, de legume. For feminine plural, we have de as well, for example, de pomme, right? So these articles are used to indicate the gender, masculine or feminine, and number, singular or plural of nouns in French. Now, this is one of the most important questions learners ask. How do you know when a noun is feminine or masculine? Now, learn this and learn this forever. Most nouns that end with E are feminine, while most nouns that end with other letters, it could be A, O, whatever it is, a lot of times they are what? Masculine. When it now ends with E, a lot of times they are what? Feminine. The ones that don't end with E most times are masculine. But be careful. Don't say Coach Casey said it's definite. There are many exceptions. So you've got to learn these exceptions and keep them in your memory. All right? So let's explore, for example. I'm going to give you this example and then in number one, then we're going to run through the other examples. For example, so when I say la or une table, that means the or a table, or le table, which means what? The tables. So if I give you a word table, for example, can you tell me the table, a table, and the tables? That's the name of this game we want to play. So I just gave you number one as example. La table, une table, le table. Can you give me number two? Number two is chargeur. Chargeur. So it's le chargeur, the charger. All right. How do I say a charger? Becomes what? Un chargeur. How do I say the chargers? Becomes what? Les chargeurs. Are we still together? Les chargeurs. How about chairs? La chaise, une chaise, les chaises. Le stylo, un stylo, les stylos. La fenêtre, une fenêtre, les fenêtres. Le crayon, un crayon, les crayons. If I leave you with the others, can you do it? Okay, if you want to try this game with me, do them before I speak. So let my voice confirm whether. So be ahead of me as you listen. All right? La porte, une porte, les portes. Le sac, un sac, les sacs. La voiture, une voiture, les voitures. Le téléphone, un téléphone, les téléphones. Did you get all that correctly? Yay, congratulations. La fleur, une fleur, les fleurs. Le chat, un chat, les chats. La photo, une photo, les photos. Le journal, all right, un journal, les journaux. La pomme, une pomme, les pommes. Le chien, un chien, les chiens. La jupe, une jupe, les jupes. Le lit, un lit, les lits. La lampe, une lampe, les lampes. Le restaurant, un restaurant, les restaurants. How have you done so far? All right, so try that with the remaining and see if you're going to get them. So we have 20 more exercises for you to try this with and see how good you are so far. But let's go to the next exercise because there are many exercises in this particular lesson, so just so it sticks. Let's see how to combine the preposition a, which usually means to, it means a lot of things, well, especially to, all right, with the definite article. Remember definite article? Either la or lo. How do I say, for example, I am going to the market? So you have I'm going to, which is je vais à, and then the market is le marché. So you have to know how to combine them. So this is the rule. A, when combined with la, becomes what? A la. à la. For example, je vais à la maison. We are going where? La is already la maison. So it's je vais à la maison. Je vais à la maison. All right? Yeah. Je vais à la gare. I'm going to the train station, for example. Je vais à la maison. I'm going home. Je vais à la gare. I'm going to the train station. All right? Now, but a plus lo, when combined together, become changes to o. Remember, a plus la didn't change. It just became what? Allah. Nothing really changed there. But when a is combined with lo, it changes completely its form to what? O. For example, the example I gave earlier on is lo marché. To say I'm going to the market, lo marché. So you can't say je vais à lo marché. No, it becomes what? Je vais au marché. The a plus lo combines to become what? O. Je vais au marché. It's supposed to be je vais à lo marché, but that's not correct. So je vais au marché. All right. Other examples would mean, for example, so au marché, au lit, I'm going to bed. Je vais au lit. So it's lo lit. So instead of saying je vais à lo lit, becomes what? Je vais au lit. Right? And then, so I wrote here, a plus a word that starts with vowel, for example, église, right? So, église obviously becomes what? L'église. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's not lo église or la église. Once a word begins with vowel, the article that must go with that word is L apostrophe. Do you understand what I'm saying? Except some few exceptions. So it's l'église. That's why you have l'église. Other examples like l'école. It's not la école. It's not lo école because it's starting with a vowel. It's just L apostrophe, so that you don't have two vowels following each other. All right. So when you have a word like that, all right, it becomes what? A plus L apostrophe. So for example, in this case, you have je vais à l'école. Je vais à l'école. It's just like with the first rule, je vais à la. So instead of saying je vais à la or je vais à l'eau, you just, from a, it just goes straight to the L apostrophe plus the word. Je vais à l'école. Je vais à l'église. All right? Let's move on. Let's look at this exercise, beautiful exercise here. Où allez-vous? Où allez-vous, obviously, means where are you going? Allez-vous means what? I'm going. All right, you go. So où allez-vous means where are you going? And the first response I have here to help you give you context is je vais à la bibliothèque pour emprunter des livres. Je vais à la bibliothèque means I'm going to the library. Pour means to in this context. Emprunter means to borrow. Des livres, books. Now, pour in this context, like I said, means to. Let me teach you something very important. You might want to write it now. It's not on this document. Every time you want to give a reason for doing something, in English, we use to. For example, I'm going to the market. Why? To buy foodstuff. I'm going to school. Why? To read. I'm going to France. Why? To study. I'm learning French. Why? To. That to in French becomes what? Pour. Every time you want to give a reason for doing something in French, the to in English becomes pour in French. All right, that particular to, not all the time. So it's not all the time that to means pour. That particular to that gives a reason. For example, I'm going to the library. Why? To borrow books. So I'm going to give you a few more examples and then we'll go. In this case, it says je vais. So we left two gaps. Obviously, in the second dash, everything is always going to be what? Pour. But I left it intentionally so that by putting it subconsciously, you remember why you're putting it there is because I'm about to give you a reason for the first part of the sentence. For example, je vais dash plage. So how do you, what articles will be here? Je vais à la plage, right? Amazing. Je vais à la plage. I'm going to the beach. Pour me promener. I'm going to the beach to take a walk. In this case, in this second case, je vais au parc. Je vais au parc. Pour faire du sport, I'm going to the park. Oh, it's supposed to be à l'eau. So it becomes what? Je vais au parc. Pour, why are you going to the park? Pour faire du sport. I'm going to the park to do sports. Can I give you a few more? Je vais à l'église. You can also go ahead of me just to test yourself. Je vais à l'église. You can say this one now, right? It's not à la église. It's not à l'eau église because école, I beg your pardon. Because école starts with vowel. So je vais à l'école pour suivre des cours. I'm going to school to attend classes. Je vais au cinéma pour regarder un film. translate before me so that you can, I will now mark it when I speak to you so that you can be testing yourself. If you just repeat after me, you're not growing. All right, take initiative. I'm going to the cinema to watch a movie. Je vais à la salle de gym pour m'entraîner. I'm going to the gym to work out. Je vais au restaurant pour dîner avec des amis. I'm going to the restaurant to dine with friends or to have dinner with friends. Let me give you 3 more. Je vais à la piscine pour nager. I'm going to the swimming pool to swim. Je vais au poste pour envoyer un colis. I'm going to the post office to send a package, right? Je vais à la boulangerie pour acheter du pain frais. Je vais à la boulangerie pour acheter du pain frais. I'm going to the bakery to buy fresh bread. Are you learning something? Are you forming sentences already? I'm so excited for you. So, fill in all of this by yourself, right? It doesn't have to be a class, on your own. Try to answer all of this. It should be easy. Je vais à la pharmacie pour acheter des médicaments. Je vais à la gare pour prendre le train. Je vais au marché pour acheter des fruits et légumes. Je vais au zoo pour voir les animaux. Je vais à la stade pour regarder un match de football. All right. Je vais à l'église pour prier à Dieu. I think I still have. All right. It says here, if I were you, I'd write all the new vocabularies. There are so many new vocabularies you're learning. Don't just play a game. Write them down. It will stick. Use the article in the English translation. So this is another exercise, basically. In this case, we want to see if you can use the articles to determine what's going to fill the gap. In this case, so the word, what you're reading first is the English version before you go to the French, right? The English number 1 says, I am going to eat an apple. How do you translate that an? You say what? Je vais manger une pomme because it is feminine. Apple is feminine. Je vais manger une pomme. Second one says, I'm going to read a book. So you say, je vais lire un livre. And that one says, I'm going to listen to music. How do you say that? Je vais écouter de la musique. In that case, that is what's partitive article. Partitive article. In the second one is what? Indefinite, a book. In the first one is also indefinite, an apple. In the third one is what? It's in the fourth one, I beg your pardon. Third one. Je vais écouter de la musique. That's partitive article. Je vais écouter de la musique. Je vais regarder un film because it's what? A movie. I'm going to drink coffee. Again, partitive. Je vais boire du café. All right, I'm going to study mathematics. Je vais étudier aux mathématiques, AUX, because it's supposed to be aller. All right, I'm going to take a picture. Je vais prendre une photo. I'm going to write a letter. Je vais écrire une lettre. All right, I'm going to buy some fruits. Je vais acheter des fruits. Is this making sense? We are demystifying articles. This used to be so difficult, but look how easy we are teaching it. All right, so. And then obviously, je vais jouer au piano. I'm going to play piano. Je vais dessiner un arbre. Un arbre, I beg your pardon. I'm going to draw a tree, right? Je vais cuisiner, I beg your pardon, un gâteau. I'm going to cook a cake. Classwork, submit the answers below in your audio report. So everything we've taught you so far, show us that you have learned. All right? For example, je vais parler. So I'm going to speak a foreign language. What should be there? All right, I'm going to visit the museum. What should be in the gap? I hope you've learned a lot. This is one of the most complicated sessions or aspects of French language. We have demystified it for you today in the simplest way possible. Listen to this over and over again to make sure you get a grasp of the French articles. Make sure you do your assignment and see you in the next lesson. Merci.